Hey everybody, welcome to Reverse Homesteading. Thought I'd show you what we've been up to today. We are going to plant my nectarine. How exciting. We've taken out a large sweet potassium stump. Well, my hubby did most of the hard work and I've sort of rearranged the soil afterward. So there aren't any roots left, hopefully, and I've pulled some more ivy out, dug the soil away from the fence, which is never a good thing for your fence to have soil next to it, and I've bermed the soil up a little bit here. So there's just a little hummock here, and hopefully I've got all the ivy roots. It may just become something that I have to look out for a while, seeing as this property has been let go a little bit, which is why it was cheap, so you know, I'm not complaining. These are hyacinth bulbs. I've put 3 at each stick because they were cheap, and yeah, they're hopefully going to pop up for spring. If you don't know what hyacinths are, you can Google them, but they're basically like a very strong stem and single stem mostly. I think there are a couple on some. I don't know them very well, so it's very exciting. Only the second time I've grown one. First one wasn't on purpose because it was in a pot that my mum gave me. I'm thinking, what is this plant? But yes, that was a white one. So these are purple, so they look like, sometimes they're called a grape hyacinth, so they look like a grape, sort of just little bobbly things at the top of the stem. They're very funny. Yes, so I've got my Sweet Sensation Nectarine. It's a full-sized one, so I'm just going to keep it in check, and it's pretty much lost all its leaves for winter, so I think it's properly dormant somewhat. So hopefully it doesn't spring back and get frostbitten. I will put some frost cover on it. So the eventual plan here is to put star picket either side and espalier it so that I can get in behind it to weed and take care of the ivy if it comes back, and tend these little plants here if I need to, and berm the soil up again. Add mulch, that sort of thing, so easy access, plus also being able to net it when it has fruit on it, because there are lots of creatures that like our fruit here. Anyway, taking note of the I've been doesn't look like I've raised it much, but yeah, I've evened out the land here a little bit because it was a sharper incline. So wherever you can, do a little bit of earthworks yourself if you're doing something by hand. It's hard work, but it's easier than doing everything at once. Right, I'm going to get to planting this tree. Alright, our little nectarine is ready to go. It's still going to be probably 1 or 2 hand breadths above the soil level, and something I learned in the tropics is to berm your fruit trees so that they get a little bit more drainage, which is good anywhere, but the thing that's really good about this is it's going to also help water your fruit trees really well before you put them in, and loosen the soil where they're going to be, and they're going to have, I think most people say, about a hole that's about twice as big as their roots, but then fill some soil in so that it's all around their roots. Some people snip the roots. I'm not going to, because I'm not sure it's 100% dormant yet. So I'm just going to do this and see how it goes. There are different schools of thought on all of that. So I need some more soil here at the back, so I'll see you again in a minute. Alrighty, so the plant is in, my little nectarine, and I've checked where the water goes. So I'm going with the slope that comes here, and I've made a little swale. So a swale is basically a place where you collect water where it can seep slowly into a mound that a tree is on. It's one of the permaculture principles. I am not a huge fan of permaculture, lots of different reasons for that, but yes, this is a good thing to save some water, especially in summer here. We get quite hot summers here in Melbourne, but it's also on a mound. The other thing I learned in the tropics is when it's really rainy, your fruit trees will need, especially avocados, will need a mound That being said, it's good to flatten out the mound a little bit so that when you do get rain it will sink in, even with your compost, with sawdust or something that you're rotting down slowly in your garden. If you want it to retain moisture, flatten out the top. And weirdly, water does run off if you don't do that. So I'll just show you where the water comes. If the water comes from uphill, it'll go down into this little moat kind of thing here, kind of like a castle, and you can see the water is flowing around here. And it's also, when it's over there, it flows around the other side as well. So it won't stay in front of the plant. It'll slowly water the roots, which are mounded up a little bit. So the next thing that I usually do is I cut off anything that I don't need. This plant isn't especially old, so I'm not going to go nuts with it. It's dormant, but I still don't want to go crazy. This is the section that I'm going to need, is the one to espalier. So I've planted it so that most of the branches are parallel to the fence. So the only one that I really want to chop off at the moment, because it's not a very old tree and it hasn't been trained this way, is this one down the front. So that's sticking out in the wrong direction. So if you've watched my channel for any length of time, just try to get as close as you can to the tree, and that should be fine. Make sure your secateurs are clean. Some people even sterilise them. I don't always go that far, to be honest, but yeah, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you'll know this is probably going to become a cutting. Anyway, we shall see how that goes. So yes, I've watered this in really well. Last thing to do is put some sugarcane mulch on it. Eventually I will put some wood chip mulch on it, but for now I want to make sure that all of the water is getting through, because sometimes the wood chip mulch does limit water a little bit. So I just want the sugarcane mulch here for now so that I know it's actually getting through. So eventually I'll put wood chips in my swale as well, but I don't really want to waste the sugarcane mulch by putting it in there. So I'll just cover the plant area. So here now you can sort of see the mound taking shape. It is quite a big area for it, but it'll be good because the roots will actually space out into there and should have a nice amount of space to grow. So the last thing we're going to do is give it some seaweed emulsion. Be careful if you're getting the pre-mixed ones. Some of the no-name brand ones, or the box store ones, big hardware stores, they actually dilute it a bit already, so it's, you know, it's made for grass, or it's made for something specific in its dilution. So yeah, just make sure you know what you've got. I just find it's easier to go with the concentrate. So that's my sweet sensation nectarine planted. Hope you are enjoying the garden, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.